Beautiful. It's been a really good year. I really hate that question, to be honest, because there's so much. Connect does so much for so many people, and every year I think I say the real highlight for me is all the lives that we've affected, all the lives we've impacted on, all our community staff and our residential teams and everybody, the positive impact that we have on people's lives and people's recovery. So I never really like singling out individual highlights and services. If I was pushed, I'd say it's been really pleasing to see a couple of things happen this year. One is the statements of purpose that we put together really start to live and breathe in the organisation. Also the move towards a younger audience in part, so the youth stuff we've done, the youth peer service development, the ongoing sort of developments of supporting parents' healthy children, what used to be called COPMEA, and just the general sort of youthful stuff. And then the other part of our strategic plan was to grow outside Auckland, and the opening of Pikitiora, where we all went down, and the Kaumātua opened our new house down in Hamilton, was just an awesome day. So that's really memorable. But Connect's full of great stories and full of great people, so it's hard to single stuff out. I do find it quite difficult, but it's been a good year with lots of highlights. Well, yeah, most of them. I think we're tracking really well. It does get a bit scary in the last year. We're just coming into the last year of the strategic plan, and you look at all the things we've still got to do, and it's easy to get a little bit intimidated by that. But I think most of the stuff we said we would do, we've either done or we've made a really good start on. Outside in service-wise, we said that we were going to try and get a bit younger, because that came from our people that we saw the pain of waiting too late to intervene, so we wanted to get a bit younger and a bit earlier in the course of people's stuff and people's problems. So we're doing that much more, and we've seen the youth services that we've started to develop. And then the other part of our service stuff in the strategic plan was to spread a little bit more outside Auckland, and we've all seen the development of our services and the growth of our services in the Waikato. So that bit's been really good. The other real big area was about being the place to be, and I've been really pleased in the last year, the stuff that we've done and the developments that we've had around our workplace and the increases we made to salaries this year. I know they were really warmly received, so that was really gratifying, and just the general feel of the place and the things we're trying to do to ensure that we are the place to be, both for staff and service users. I've seen that really step forward this year, so that's been really good. In other areas where we've perhaps not as far forward as we wanted to be, it's partly because the situation, the circumstances, the environment has changed. I think a good example is social enterprise. It was hard to say at the end of 3 years where we wanted to be with social enterprise. I think we've moved forward, but it's kind of been a bit on the hoof, and we've made changes as we've gone. So we've moved forward, but perhaps not in the way that we thought we would. So at the end of the 3 years, we're going to be in a really good place with social enterprise, but it's a bit different than what we planned, which I quite like, actually. I think it's good to have a plan, it's good to set aspirations, it's good to set targets, but also sometimes you need to change and flex and go in a different direction. And that's one of the cool things about Connect. We're really good at that, responding to the environment and responding to funders' needs. So yeah, generally overall, I think we're tracking okay. I guess the one big area in the final year that you will see a lot of investment is into infrastructure. So a big part of the plan was to look at things like payroll and websites and electronic data systems, and those are on track to be in the final year of the plan, so they'll make a significant difference, but they're not quite over the line yet. Well, I'm really pleased about this, and it's been really pleasing to watch the impact in the organisation, and perhaps for most people they don't see it, but our strategy has meant that we've managed our money a bit better. So because we've managed our money a bit better and we've budgeted better and stuck to budgets better, that's allowed us to make some significant changes. So really threefold. One, it's allowed us to increase salaries again, which I'm sure for staff working at Connect, that's the most important thing. So we really are now committed to trying to get our salaries to stay at the medians for our sector, because we had fallen behind a little bit. So, and at the same time, we're also committed to raising our poorer paid staff into better levels. So we've been able to do that, not really through increased funding, but through better management of what we've got, and the financial strategy is a big part of that. The second part, as I mentioned before, is it's allowed us to start making investment into infrastructure. So we've got some money that we can invest into things which are going to help us long term, like better systems, better profile, better communications, including a couple of positions. So we've increased our finance, we've increased our finance team, our communications teams, and also added an HR manager. So these infrastructure purchases, if you like, will allow us to be a better organisation in the future. And the third is we can start to look to invest some money maybe into property or something for the long term, and the financial strategy was all about doing those three things. Well, that's a really good question, because the interesting thing is, of course, the purpose statement didn't come from me to the organisation. It came really from the organisation to me. So if it doesn't reflect what we do on a day-to-day basis, then we kind of got it wrong. And I think it does. And I've started to notice the words from it appearing in communications, and perhaps a little bit more commitment to some of the words. So I'm really happy to start to see that happening. And of course, having it on the wall in the head office and seeing it around the services means that it's front and centre for a lot of people. But the concepts in it aren't actually anything that new to us. It was really just the first time that we've pulled them all together. The values that it represents, the unwavering commitment and the passion of our staff that's captured in the words, they're not new things for Connect, but it's really just about us telling the world about them and making a big bold statement that this is why we're here. So it's been really pleasing, and it's really helped me out in the sector to be able to go out and say this is what Connect's about for the first time, really. So you can tell people when you think of Connect, this is what we do, and you can show them. So I've really enjoyed that, and I've really enjoyed having that in my back pocket, if you like. For the staff, I've certainly had staff mention it to me and say to me that's how we're going to be held to account as a management team, that we must support them to do these things. So yeah, that side of it's really good too. I think it's a slow burner, if you like, and it's going to become more and more part of our everyday language and our everyday life. So I'm just really grateful to the team and everybody for giving us those words that we can live by. So I think it's a fantastic gift to the organisation and a fantastic gift for our future. I think most importantly, it's really crucial to understand why we've made those investments. I talk to the management team all the time that everything we do in the back office, in the head office, in the admin team or the communications team, only exists to support people at grassroots. So all of those managers, all of those resources are just there to help people who are delivering services, who are changing people's lives, who are supporting people's recovery to do that better. So when we make those investments, they solely exist to do that. So an HR manager exists to support our staff to be better and better managed and better supported to do their jobs, and a communications resource or position allows us to communicate better both internally and externally. So they only exist for that, and it's been really, really rewarding to see those positions start to bear fruit. And in terms of communication, we've started to see more videos. Probably the biggest output of our communications resource has been the way that we've used videos to get people to do the 2 big surveys we've done this year. So we did a big staff survey, 83% return, 83% participation. That's really high, and part of that was using communication tools like video and animation to get people to do the survey. And we also did a service user survey, and the same thing again, we did a video and a bit of a skit with Michael and Ellie online, and that really engaged people in the process, which means those surveys mean something, and it means that you get much more from them. So communication has a real effect. Obviously there's much more to come. We're refreshing our website, we're refreshing our online presence, and our HR manager's doing a whole load of things to try and make us a bit sharper at how we support staff. So it's really just the beginning, but we've really started to see the impact of those roles, and I'm really, really happy with them. This is where I feel like a groom at a wedding, isn't it? And I have to thank everybody. Hey, look, we first and foremost, we couldn't do anything we do without our funders. And so it's really important to thank the funders. We're funded, and we have a very special relationship with a number of DHBs in Auckland and in Waikato. And they the relationship's built on trust, and they trust us to deliver the services that they need, and they give us the money to do that, and that's fantastic. And the same with our other funders, the people who buy our social enterprise services and in other areas too, and MSD who fund our Edge service. All these relationships are built on trust, and because we are perceived as delivering a high quality service, so we have to thank our funders. I couldn't go without thanking the board. I'm supported by an excellent board who are a growing board in terms of their experience at board level, but also are massively passionately committed to what we do, and they're all on the board for the right reason. None of them are there for their board careers, they're there because they believe in Connect. I'd also like to personally thank the management team, the leadership team we have. They've been an amazing support to me and a challenge to me, and really challenging the organisation to push on and push forward in the last 12 months, and we're really blessed to have such fantastic leaders in our organisation. But then with all those out of the way, most of all, our grassroots teams, our staff, the service users that work in partnership with them, because it is a partnership. Recovery is always a partnership, but all the different teams and the staff we have, I'd want to thank them for their passion, their efforts, their skill, their knowledge, and the work they do for us. And also, I'd quietly like to also thank the families that support our service users. We are really in the business of supporting people to support people to support people. So we work in partnership with families, and we work in partnership with service users. So I want to thank everybody involved, really, and that's it.